You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
You are now tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that's on all the time, anytime. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for all content. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell. Bring your sports game with Big Nate Sports Talk.
Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
Cut it off! I am having a very bad day. I am in no mood. This, today, is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time. I'm not in the mood to play with anybody. I mean, damn it. I'm ticked off.
Hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Hope you have something planned to do something for yourself. This is episode 29 of the podcast. Before we get into this, a few things I want to say up front. I will have to, unfortunately, put the most recent episode with the Maryland Terps, Lady Terps versus the South Carolina Gamecocks on private because for some reason there's audio issues and cannot hear me at all talking, and that's very, very concerning. So I will have to put that video on private. So I'll have to do two recaps in one video, George Mason and then South Carolina. So be tuned in for that episode. I'll probably go live later this evening. In this episode, we're previewing Penn State and Maryland. The game comes on at 3. This is one of our last 3 games of the college football season for those Maryland Terrapins. We're coming into this game after a disappointing loss against Wisconsin last Saturday. We are traveling to Beaver Stadium in University Park, Pennsylvania. We're taking on the number 14 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. And I'm scared. But no, all seriousness. Meaningfully lost to the Wisconsin Badgers 23-10, which was even though we were facing adversity with the weather, adversity definitely showed with some of the same mistakes that Maryland has shown throughout this season. And now it's a quick turnaround to focus on a Penn State team that's only had 2 losses to Michigan, Ohio State. Last year, in 2020, we beat them 31-14, and then we beat them the year before 35-19. This should be an interesting matchup. Penn State, they're 7-2. 2. They're in the Big Ten. I believe this is Coach Franklin's 9th year as head coach. We all know Penn State for a couple of years was struggling as a program, and he seems to get them back on track because I think they've already matched their winning mark since 2020. I know he got a contract extension that's going to keep him there until 2031, if I'm not mistaken. They're coming off a big win against on the road, 45-14. And they're facing a Maryland team that is not consistent. Let me just keep it like that. So their biggest thing is I'm looking out is their offensive output. Steve Clifford, I believe he's redshirt if I'm not mistaken. He's the quarterback. This is his 6th year in college football. I couldn't believe that. So far, he's thrown for 16 touchdowns, seven picks, almost I think it's about 2,000 yards. He's actually, ironically, in the 3 career games against Maryland, this stat he's thrown for over 1,000 yards. Don't know if we'll see their 5-star quarterback. I think his name is Drew Alar. It's probably we'll see both of them in there. Nicholas Singleton, who's part of that 1-2 punch with Katron Allen. They are that's just a nasty 1-2 punch combo. Right now he leads the team in rushing yards with 679 yards and about 6 yards per carry. He and Katron Allen have 8 touchdowns. That's something we're going to have to contain, but we'll get into those keys in a little bit. They got a wide receiver in Parker Washington. I think he's a good playmaker. Our secondary is going to have a field day with him. I believe he has about 580 yards on the season so far. And actually, which is interesting, 200 more yards than what we have as wide receivers as the Maryland Terps. Bring your hat on that stat. Because he definitely, when they played Ohio State, I think he had 11 catches for about 180 yards. And then I'm looking at a couple things. I think the biggest defensive player that stands out to me is, I think his name is Jair Brown. He was ranked 3rd on Mel Kiper's draft board. This is his 3rd year with them. He leads them in tackles with 52 and 39 solos and 3 interceptions on the year. So he also has had 4 quarterback hits. So ring your hat on that stat. Hey, how you doing, Lucinda? Good to see you. Their biggest thing is for Penn State, their strength is offense. They average about 34 points a game and about 437 yards per game. That's the 3rd best scoring in total offense in the Big Ten. And they're obviously behind Michigan and Penn State. Maryland is 4th. I believe they've been dealing with some injuries too, particularly on the offensive line. I think their left guard, I want to say it is, he's out for the season. He was listed out for the season this past week. So thoughts and prayers to, I think his name is Landon Tegwell. I want to say his name, Tegwell. So my thoughts and prayers to him. Hope for a speedy recovery. Biggest thing is I looked at the stats before we started. They struggle on 3rd down this year. They're only converting about 37% on 120 attempts. That's the 11th best in the Big Ten. So we're going to be curious to see how they create a nice plan. Biggest keys for me to beating Penn State is, how do you bounce back from a disappointing loss like Wisconsin? And I think it starts with the offense. Tally only completed 10 of his 23 passes for 77 yards. He threw a touchdown in the pick. And we're going to need to create turnovers and limit the big plays. That's the key, because the home run plays definitely have shown it hurts us. And I think we got to take away something. And I think we take away the run game. I think we'll be fine. And then also too, this is a nice little rivalry to have. So Maryland's we beat them the last 2 times, and Let's see what it looks like on the third try. So I definitely think that this is a rivalry. I think we're 43-1 against Penn State all time. So this should be a great, great game. I'm going to say it's the Nittany Lions winning this game, though. I see it. I'm going to say Penn State upsets Maryland 34-24.
Guaranteed.
I just think that their running game, their running attack, their passing, I think it's just going to be a little too much for Maryland to contain. And Maryland has just shown a lack of they kind of fall into bad habits at times. And what I saw against Wisconsin, I believe you got to take. I don't think you can fix in a quick turnaround. If you take away the run game, that's one thing. If you can contain the pass, if you can take out their number one wide receiver, that's another. But it's going to come down to controlling the penalties, snap count, getting the run game early offensively for the Maryland Terps going, and getting your receivers going. I would have liked to have seen more from our offense, but I would like to see the offense that needs to be more electric. It's starting to become basic and stale, and teams are starting to figure it out. So that's my preview for the Maryland Terps versus the Penn State Nittany Lions. Comes on the day at 3. Go Terps. With that being said, I'm going to turn it into my last segment of the
incoming
show.
Message.
Thoughts are running through my mind, so I took some time to find a minute or two to organize.
There'll be another video this evening. Painfully, the Indiana Fever were rewarded the number 1 overall pick for the 2023 WNBA draft.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
And the Maryland Lady Terps painfully lost to the South Carolina Gamecocks 81-56.
I mean, this is some bad stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I just don't know. This is ridiculous. Oh, Lord.
So be on the lookout for the recaps. So I have to recap George Mason and South Carolina in the same video because the previous video had audio issues, so I had to put that video on private. But painfully, this is going to conclude another episode because it's just last night was just brutal for me. The Washington Mystics have the 4th overall pick. I am not happy about that. And then the Terrapins lost last night. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be tuned in for future episodes. Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Y'all have a good afternoon, good morning, happy weekend. Do something fun. Do something for yourself and try to enjoy this weather that we're having. Peace.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
Thank you. And you help me retain my sanity. Thank you. I want to thank you. And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you for everything you do. Yeah.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Penn State has beaten Maryland 41-1-3 historically. So I'm not expecting anything more. So historically, Penn State has the rivalry over us, painfully.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.